By uniting our intentions, we create a wave of love that traverses all dimensions, touching each being with its divine essence.
The metric for which something goes from belief to knowledge is the
Not knowledge.
I just want
We're talking about knowing.
Right. So
let me make a distinction between knowledge and knowing.
Okay.
Knowledge is an accumulated information. I know this and that. By knowledge means I have accumulated information. Today everybody is knowledgeable about everything. This doesn't mean to say they know it. They know it through the phone screen, everything in the universe, but they don't know it by experience of anything. So knowing is by experience. I have two hands, is my knowing. I know it is there, all right? Even if I close my eyes, it's there. If you argue with me, it's there. It's there anyway. So belief is something else. Right now I know something, I do not know something. These are two facts of life. If you live in truth, you will know some things, you will not know some things. What you do not know, naturally your intelligence will want to know. You don't have to seek it consciously. The moment you see, I do not know, your intelligence will start working. The in-between thing is, what you do not know, you want to believe and make yourself feel like you know it. And that's caused tremendous trouble to human beings, assuming things that they do not know.
I think that's one of the biggest problems we're facing right now in our country. I don't know how long you've been here, but I think it's safe to say America's probably the most divided it's ever been, especially with the pandemic going on.
Well, you had a civil war, this is better than that.
Yeah, it is better than that. But I wonder how close we are to something like that happening.
No.
Truthfully, we…
Election time, everybody gets hot, it's okay.
I wanted to build off of his knowing versus believing. I don't remember which school of thought, if it was Plato or Aristotle, but do you believe that all knowledge comes from what is gathered by one of the sensory parts of life, by one of the senses? Is that your belief? You see something, you believe it. You smell something, you believe it. Or is there room for faith? Is there room for metaphysical understanding of certain things? Do you leave that open, or do you have to experience it through one of the senses?
See, if you go by your sensory perception, right now I touch this and I say, it's cool. No, I don't know what this is. Only because it's cooler than my body, I'm saying it's cool. If somebody else who is much cooler than me touches this, they'll say this is warm. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So I'm saying your experience of senses is a very relative experience. It's good enough for survival, not good enough for knowing the nature of what it is. For survival process, you're seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, which is what you're saying. To go to the grocery store, all this is good enough. But if you want to know what it is, you cannot know through your senses.
How do you know? I want to get into that. How do you find out what it really is beyond your senses? What's the practice that gets you there?
It's not about a practice. First of all, see, if you want to cross a border, first you must get to the border, isn't it? Right now you want to go to Mexico, you can't go from here, you must at least get to the border first. So if you want to know, this is why I started with the border, but you went into something else. I said the border of your experience is sensations. If something comes and touches, it's a sensation. If you see something, it's a certain kind of sensation. If you smell something, it's a certain kind of sensation. Everything in your experience is sensation. It may not be sensational, but it is sensation. That is why we are calling them as sense organs. They create sensations in the system. These sensations are vital if you want to live in this world, if you want to survive in this world. Otherwise you wouldn't know anything. Suppose you had no ears, eyes, nose, nothing. Would you know what is here? Nothing, isn't it? Total blank. You fall asleep, what is happening? Your heart is beating, your liver is functioning, kidneys are functioning, everything functioning. Now they're telling you even your brains are functioning. But you don't know a thing simply because all the five gates of sensations have closed down, isn't it? So your experience of life is right now limited to sensory perception, and that is the reason all this confusion, because The nature of sensory perception is such, if you see this part of my hand, you cannot see this part of my hand, isn't it? So you always perceive everything in parts. Now with these parts you are trying to make a whole. It doesn't work like that. Right now, people's understanding of what creation is, what existence is, it's a trillion-piece jigsaw. But they find three pieces, put it together and they form something and say, this is it, I believe this is what it is. You can believe whatever you want. If we work hard enough on you from your childhood, we can make you believe any damn thing in the universe, just know this.
Right.
I agree with that. Is that a shortcoming of humanity? Is that because our brains have not developed to a point where we are no longer limited by what we see, feel, touch, smell, hear? Or is there a way to break that boundary, and have you done it?
See, human brain, there is nothing deficient about it. The deficiency is people are trying to operate without using the user's manual. They don't know a damn thing about their brains. That is their problem because they have lots of beliefs. They have lots of beliefs and beliefs and beliefs, so they can't use their brains. But the moment you see, I do not know something, do you see your brain starts working in a certain way?
I think saying I don't know is one of the most powerful statements in the
It starts exploring immediately. It's through exploration. You have come to America, I'm saying, isn't it? People came to America because of exploration, not because they believed. Nobody believed there was a land here. They thought they were going to India. Yesterday somebody asked me, what is your experience of, that Columbus landed in America and called the people here Indians, what do you think about it, how do you feel? I said, I'm glad he didn't land in India, but I'm sorry he landed here.
You talk about this necessity for curiosity and this I don't know or questioning.
See, don't use the word curiosity.
Okay.
Curiosity is a very surface thing.
Okay.
But when you realize, I do not know, there is a pain of not knowing.
Right, and it leads to that questioning, right? One of the things that some people use that aren't as that don't sit on a meditation system to get to that place of to get to that place of questioning and not knowing and being open to looking at things in new
Can
ways.
I supply some vocabulary?
What's that?
Seeking.
Seeking, thank you so much. Like I said, brand new to this. One thing some of these people use is mind-altering drugs. Ayahuasca, psilocybin, surgic acid. What are your thoughts on getting to this place of understanding through alternate means?
See, it's like you can jinx the brain to create all kinds of experiences. Just by strongly dreaming about it, you can do it actually. People do it. You can hypnotize somebody and make them go through all kinds of things. If you're only hunting for experiences, it's fine. But what I'm talking is not about hunting for experiences, a genuine exploration. If you put on a VR and sit here, you may go to Mars right now. But you've not gone to Mars, that's all I'm saying. So by making some chemical changes forcefully, by introducing something, whether it's of natural origin or it came from the backstreet of something, it doesn't matter where it came from, you stimulate something chemically and an experience happened. If you did it just one time and you use this as a way to understand that I'm capable of these experiences. Yesterday I was just doing the daily quote today morning. The quote was something like this, if I can repeat that. It is like, whatever was the most wonderful and the peak level of emotion or experience you had, make that your baseline in your life. Because you're capable of that, all right? You're capable of that. What you're capable of must happen. What you're not capable of will not happen, that's a different matter. What you're capable… if you're capable of a certain level of joy, that must be your baseline. Now you will explore what's beyond. Now most people think these peak experiences happen only when somebody loves me, only when I pop this pill, only when I smoke this stuff. This is the wrong way to do it. If you used it just once to understand that my body and my experience is capable of reaching such a peak, and then you start living there, that's great. But every time you have to pop something and tomorrow you're sick, what's the point of that?
So I have your peace and happiness. I know I've asked you all, what do you truly want, right? What do you truly want in this life? And we, in the 3D material world, are chasing a lot of things because of the feeling that it's going to give us, right? And so peace and happiness seems to be the answer amongst a lot of people that I ask. And I hear you talk about how peace should be the fundamental baseline foundation in which you live, not the highest aspiration. And so if you could speak for people that don't have that peace currently within their life and want that to be the basis for their whole life, how can they do that?
See, this is the most unfortunate thing in the world, that most human beings just do not know how to be at ease. They're not even at ease. Forget about joy, forget about blissfulness. There is no ease, they're all in this jangled state. And now they say, this is how human beings are. Doctors say because that's their business, pharmaceutical companies say that's their business. See, for example, United States, we're here in USA, so let's take this as an example. This is the most affluent country on the planet right now. Why does an individual person or a society or a nation seek affluence? In the first stage of affluence, it's a choice of nourishment. I can eat what I want. If I'm hungry, I'm thinking of money. Why? Because if I have money, I can eat whatever I want. In the second level of affluence, it's the lifestyle. I can live the way I want, I can do things that I want to do. So now in the most affluent country where there is a choice of nourishment and a choice of lifestyles like nowhere else, why are you spending $3.25 trillion as your health care? Something must be wrong with you. Hello? When you have a choice of nourishment and choice of lifestyle, why are you sick, I'm asking? $3.25 trillion is more than India's budget, all right? Annual budget for 1.2 billion people.
So where do we go wrong?
That's what we are looking at. No, it's not about greed. The problem is, without understanding, if you do not know how this camera functions and you use it, I'll assure you this is going to break down in 3 days. Yes or no? One who knows it, they may use it for a lifetime. One who does not know it will break it in 3 days, yes or no? That's all you're doing. No, it's not about them. You are in charge of your life, you don't know a thing about this. Because you think by fixing the outside world everything will be okay. Because roads are done, bridges are done, airplanes are flying, you think everything is done. No. A human experience essentially happens from within you. Outside conducive atmospheres we want to create, that is there. See, it's like this. If you look at it, he articulated this in one way. Essentially, what is it that you want? You want pleasantness of the body. If body becomes pleasant, we call it health. Do you want it?
So badly.
Yes. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it pleasure. If mind becomes pleasant, we call this peace. If it becomes very pleasant, we call this joy. If your emotions become pleasant, we call this love. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it compassion. If your very life energies become pleasant, we call this blissfulness. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it ecstasy. If your surroundings become pleasant, we call it success. Only to create your surroundings in a pleasant manner, you need the cooperation of all these people. But for pleasantness of body, pleasantness of mind, pleasantness of emotion and energy, it is 100% your business, yes or no?
Yep.
So only to create pleasantness around us, we need… because there are many forces involved, we need help from them, we need cooperation from them. Otherwise anybody can make it nasty right now. But what happens in your body, what happens in your mind, in your emotion and your energy is absolutely your business. If you take charge of this, creating pleasantness in the atmosphere, you're at least competent to do it. Otherwise you're always at somebody else's mercy. Why everybody wants to meet the most wonderful person? Why? I'm asking you, why the hell are you not that wonderful person, huh? Why are you looking for that wonderful person to mess them up?
Andre brought up something which is near and dear to me, and this is this fight or quest for inner peace. And I you speak about this a little bit, and you speak about people's inability to understand and to not ask the right questions or to not seek properly. What are your thoughts on underlying mental health conditions as a combatant to people's ability to find that inner peace? Do you believe in true mental health as scientifically diagnosed, or are you not a believer in it?
I'm not a believer or a disbeliever of anything. I'm willing to look at every aspect of life as it is. Is that okay?
Everything's okay. Who am I to say that it's not okay?
No,
Sadhguru.
because you're continuously coming back to belief. Do you believe this, do you believe that? I don't believe a damn thing, nor do I disbelieve anything.
What happens when you die?
I love that laugh.
Why are you making me die? Why don't you ask that question with
What happens
yourself?
What happens when I die?
Some things you know best only by experience.
Sure, you want me to die right here, right now?
Come
No,
back
because
and
you
tell
want to
us.
experience
This will
it.
get a lot of views. I'll tell you that much. And I won't do it. But seriously, so you, based on what you just said, technically you don't have a belief on what happens when you die, but surely you think
I've just this year, in the month of February, I published a book called Death, which is on a top selling list for the last 10 months, continuously. The book is titled as Death, an Inside Story. It's only for those who shall die.
Great marketing.
That's gonna be
great
towards
marketing.
how could they
Everybody's
do it?
like, this book is for me. 100%.
Of
I'll take
course. And
it. You're a great marketer, Sadhguru.
What happens when I die? Well, maybe not me, but like, does one go to heaven?
well, which heaven you want to go? Because every religion has their own heaven.
This is where it gets tricky. Now
See,
you've.
I'll tell you, because you do not know what is in the heaven, let me describe it to you. In the Hindu heaven, food is very good. If you're a foodie, that's where you must go. In the other heaven, there are, long white gowned ladies floating in the sky. You like that means, you go there.
That one's Mike's.
Well, I like food.
In another place, you will encounter virgin problems. If that's what you're looking for, you go there. But what do you have to do to go there? You got to die first. That's an important thing. When you die, depending on your culture, we will either bury you, burn you, cut you and throw you to the birds, do something with your body, because this body is a piece of this planet. When your job is done, you must put it back. If you've not done anything eco-friendly, at least this much you must do, put the damn body back. Some people are talking about going to Mars with it, all right? You must put it back, that is one sensible thing to do. I'm telling everybody in United States, I know I will become very unpopular. Why are you wasting cutting a tree when a man dies? At least plant a tree, because you make good manure.
Have you seen those sacks? Have you seen the seriously?
Yes, I know.
Tree pots.
There's these sacks you can place your body in,
Yep.
and a tree will grow.
I know
out.
you don't need a sack also. In India, we just wrap them in a cloth with salt and everything and we put them there and plant a tree, all right?
I gotta ask you, is Mars out of play? Like, in the way of that you seek? How can I ask this question properly? Like, if I get buried on Mars, is Mars out of play?
Your body material, unless you want to be exported to another planet, this material you picked up from this planet, when your job is done, it's best to give it back because it's just a loan.
Well, some girls say-
Mother Earth gave you this body thinking that you will use it for your well-being and put it back when your job is done. You want to steal it and run away somewhere.
Well, some girl at Whole Foods once told me that I was just made of stardust. She was very convincing of it. She said, we're all just stardust.
All right.
I guess she's wrong.
Wait, I guess what I'm getting at is this, like.
Let's finish this.
Okay.
So, these are all different offerings in the heaven,
Sure.
but this thing is you must die first. When you die, we put your body here no matter what. In which form we put it somewhere, either in a sack or a box or whatever, we put it here. So you went to heaven and you don't have a body. Now what do you do with good food and virgins, I'm asking?
Oh, if you have no body, how could you take advantage of the good food and the virgins?
I thought just like it's like spirit food.
Well, here's why this is tricky, because say you die at a very young age. Seriously, this is where I get confused. what goes to heaven? Your soul? Great. Is your soul, is it…
Which
is
soul,
your-
right or left?
the left sole on my shoe. Is it the soul… something unfortunate happens, a 5-year-old dies. Does the soul of the 5-year-old go to heaven or hell as a 5-year-old soul?
See,
Does it go as the soul
the
at
problem
age you
is
passed
there
away?
is no line between what you know and do not know. That's why all this confusion. Right now, you do not know the nature of your existence, but you're talking about a soul because somebody told you so. I'm not questioning whether it's true or not. All I'm saying is you do not know. Hello? Something may be true, but you do not know. That's the important thing. Because unless it comes into your experience, it's not there, isn't it? See, right now, if I close my eyes and sit here and doze off, all these people don't exist because they're not in my experience, isn't it so? It's only what is in your experience which is true for you, rest you're just assuming. If you concretize your assumptions, that's called belief.
So you say chase experiences?
Are you afraid of dying?
Do I look like that?
It looks like you're a person who loves life.
See, life is not my decision, life has happened to me, okay? If we were able to cause life, that's different, we didn't cause it. Something much bigger than us caused life for us. Now, it's your business to see that it happens at the highest point. Because you've been given an intelligence, you've been given a capability, you must see it happens at the highest point. When I say highest point, not in a social context, but within you. You must be at your peak, otherwise you're a wasted life.
Can I take a…
You have concerns that you have to pay your Verizon's bill, so you go with a long face on the street. No, the thing is just this, right now the only thing that you have is life, rest is all your assumption.
Can I take a second to get sort of personal? And Andre, you did someone brought it up at your event. The story of your wife was…
It's not a story.
The reality
Of your life.
of your wife. I don't know how to fathom what occurred, but it kind of goes along what you were just talking about living at the peak. And on Saturday, I heard you speak, or Sunday I heard you speak, and you talked about her having the desire to go at what she felt was her peak.
Mhm.
And in meditation, correct me if I'm wrong, in meditation, she made the conscious decision to leave this planet.
Is it a question or it's a statement?
I'm trying to phrase, coming from someone again who's just gotten immersed in this world, having that level of, whether you want to call it enlightenment, connectedness, knowingness, seems unfathomable to me.
See, you're living in a culture where the only dream is to survive better than somebody else. In the last 200 years, that's been the only dream, how to be better than everybody else, survive a little better, have little more than everybody else. But you're also, right now you and me are sitting on a land where for people, the distinction between life and death was very thin in their understanding and experience of life. The Native American people lived like this. I was amazed to see that only recently I discovered that they are talking about a doorway on top of the head. They're saying there is a doorway. They call it by something of their own language, what? Okay? Kapavi, which is a doorway that you can open up and leave. It is through that life came and it is through that you can exit. This is a well-established science in India, and there are any number of yogis who left their body like this, sitting among people, announcing to everybody, today I will leave, and just leave.
Like taking off a pair of clothes.
Huh?
Like taking off a pair of clothes.
Yes, of course, because you put this on. You put on the body, isn't it? Slowly over a period of time. If what you accumulate, if you can't put it down, are you stuck or no? Suppose you picked up this vessel and you cannot put it down, it's stuck to your hand. Is it a good thing?
No.
So similarly, you put on this body, it's stuck to you don't know how to keep it down. That's a terrible thing. That's what people are suffering right now, being stuck in their bodies. They don't know what to do. So, what Mahasamadhi means is, it's not that they left and went to another planet or something, they just dissolved as a person. There is no persona anymore. So it's a different dimension of life. I think this is too light and uncommitted atmosphere to debate or discuss such a thing. If you're interested, I will talk to you in a different kind of atmosphere where there would be better understanding. And above all, I don't want to casually discuss my wife with a whole bunch of people who don't understand what it is. Who don't understand what it is.
That's totally fair. Yeah, absolutely.
Again, I feel like that can go over a lot of people's head.
Anyway, this question came up the other day also, it seems to be bothering all of you. Let me put it this way. The other day also somebody asked a question, I don't remember who, and they said like this, it happened, will you not marry again? So I'm saying, I don't come from that kind of background. One person falls off, pick up another one tomorrow morning. I don't come from that kind of thing, because life's melded in a certain way. And that person evolved to a point where I did not imagine that person would evolve like that. Beyond my imagination, beyond my expectation, something was done, something that is considered so phenomenal and sacred in the entire culture, and in the yogic culture it is always considered that way. So, when the atmosphere is like that, I don't want to sit and discuss my wife with all the people, all right?
I totally get it. I'm sorry if I overstepped any boundaries. I just… that whole thing is fascinating to me. And
Yeah, I think, you know, from religion to responsibility, from solace to solution, I hear in these conversations, and I'm really curious with the privilege that we have right now in this gathering, and with Logan's influence and the influence of many people that are watching this, they don't know where to begin. It seems like a lot, and it goes over their head. And so,
No, Vicky, it's very easy to make it very clear where to begin. Unless you hop in with in-between things like this. Right now, standing in the grocery queue is not even on his mind, all right? He's just throwing it because he thinks that is a philosophy which will counter everything. I want to tell you, I read my Mein Kampf when I was 11, 12. I become a strong activist when I'm just 12, 13, and at 14, 15 I'm thinking of joining armed struggle. So it's not new to me, that kind of logic, that kind of rhetoric, as if it's a solution for everything. Yes, intellectually it looks like socialism, communism seems to be the ultimate solution. Please try it to enforce it and see what a mess it becomes. Go and see in other parts of the world where it's become an absolute mess, all right? So this is not because I like something, you dislike something, it's not about that. Ultimately, when it comes to life, what really works for maximum number of people, that is the important thing, isn't it?
Regardless of the success rate of communism or socialism or the grocery line way of thinking, right, that I'm stuck in or have not thought my way out of, it is the way of things in this world right now, in many places, maybe not so much in other places. What is the reason for that? Is it the teaching of the parents? Is it the education system? Is it mostly religion? Who is the main perpetrator when it comes to set belief systems? And as opposed to giving us a starting point for creating new belief systems, how do you create a desire for the teachers of the next generation to think outside the box?
See, for a long time, in the name of religion, in the name of philosophy, in the name of ideologies of variety of kind, all sorts of things have been promised. And all the promises are elsewhere, not here. I'm saying, because you're all continuously talking about belief, if you believe there is a better place than where we are right now, up there, why are you not gone, I'm asking? Doesn't make sense to me. If you genuinely believe there's up there a better place than this, you should be gone, isn't it? Hello?
Well, based on the religions that people utilize to believe in this better place, you don't get to choose the day. The day is shown.
You can choose the day. You can choose the day, it's very simple.
Alright, go ahead.
Well, I think it just speaks into what we were talking about earlier, right? If we really knew that there was something outside after we died, there was a heaven that we really knew, if we actually knew, then yeah, I would want to go right now.
Yeah.
But because it's a belief, that becomes a difficulty.
I'd like to hear George speak.
That's wrong. So, like you said, life was given to us, so we're not allowed to take it. For example, I can't take my own life, and I can't take Mike's life. To redeem the reward that the Lord has given to me at the end of my time, when He has chosen my time, not me, because I haven't gone through what He need me to go through.
Fine.
Go through. Sorry.
I agree with you. You or anybody has no right to take life, yours or somebody else's. That is a given, all right? But I'm saying, why is it that the idea of a better place than this has come is because right now people are suffering within themselves, all right? Why are they suffering? I want you to understand this, whether it's joy or suffering, essentially both of them are happening from within you, is that so?
Correct.
If it's happening from within you, what happens from within you, at least what happens from within you, must happen your way, isn't it?
Very true.
If it happens your way, would you be blissful or miserable?
I wake up every single day blissful.
Blissful, I would
Absolutely.
Not presume, tell me, if
Yeah,
you had a
yeah.
choice, would you make it pleasant or unpleasant for yourself?
Pleasant.
I'd probably go
Pleasant.
pleasant.
Yes. If you were feeling very pleasant, would you be always thinking of going to another place which is more pleasant?
No.
Right now the entire this thing is set up on a better place somewhere else.
So before, because a lot of people, if I say this, people are going to comment down below, okay, I'm sure you feel that your place is great. But coming from a 2005 George, where I'm working at a 9 to 5 every single day, and I do have a boss to answer to, and I do have bills to pay, and I do have responsibilities that I do not want to take part of, I still found those days just as joyful as the situation I have now because I invited the Lord into my life. So if you're saying, why don't you just go there now? I'm saying,
No, I'm not saying you should go there now.
No, but you're saying, no, I'm not saying you're saying, but I'm saying if that was the idea of if there's a better place in heaven, why don't they just go now?
Krishna Avatara was considered as a complete avatara or a complete incarnation of God. The consciousness that we refer to as Krishna, if we have to be touched by this, we need Leela. Leela does not mean just dancing with somebody. You're willing to dance with death, you're willing to dance with life. Very few human beings ever get to be placed in as complex situations as Krishna was placed. In one human being's life, going through the variety of situations that he went through is generally, it doesn't happen to most human beings. And in all these situations that he was faced with, the clarity of vision that he exhibited and the certainty about his ability to discern as to what is true and what is not true, the clarity that he brought to people around him, people began to experience him like godlike. So he was proclaimed as an incarnation and a complete incarnation. For those of you who are not familiar with this, They talk about 9 incarnations. I want you to understand this is what I'm going to say now is much before Charles Darwin came. So the first incarnation was Matsyavatara, that means God appeared in the form of a fish. And you know Charles Darwin went about proving the first form of life on the planet were water life, fish. And the next incarnation is Kurmavatara, that means it's a turtle, it's an amphibious animal, half water, half land. Charles Darwin said this also. The third incarnation is Varahavatara, which is in the form of a pig, a gross mammal. And the fourth incarnation is Narasimhavatara, that is half man and half animal. The next one is Vamanavatara, a dwarf, human form but a dwarf. The next one is Parashurama, a full-grown man, but an extremely violent man, a great fighter. We will meet him shortly here also. Krishna meets him, so he's still alive. So Parashurama is a fighting man. He even lopped off the head of his own mother, a very violent man. The next one is Ramavatara, a very peaceful one, but very unidimensional kind of man. The next is Krishnavatara, a very multi-dimensional human being. So Krishnavatara was considered as a complete avatara or a complete incarnation of God, not just one aspect. As a tribute to the multidimensional nature of who he was. And though he himself never claimed it, even if he had not claimed it, people around him naturally identified him as divine. In this identification that people attached to him, the whole culture evolved around this identity of Krishna being a complete incarnation of the divine. When we say Krishna, the essence of who he is, he is an irrepressible child, a terrible prankster, an enchanting flute player, a graceful dancer, an irresistible lover, a truly valiant warrior, a ruthless vanquisher of his foes, a man who left a broken heart in every home. An astute statesman and kingmaker, a thorough gentleman, a yogi of the highest order, and the most colorful incarnation. Krishna is seen and perceived and understood and experienced in many, many different ways by different people. Duryodhana, through the eyes of Duryodhana. For those of you who do not know the background, I will be, because unless you understand the whole tapestry of the story and the situation in which he existed, many aspects of who he is will be missed, so we will go into it. But right now, Duryodhana is a man because of certain situations into which he was placed, insecure, angry, jealous, greedy and feeling wronged all his life. And because of actions which came forth from his greed and anger, he became the key for destruction of his whole race. In Duryodhana's words, he is a smiling rogue, if there was ever one. He can eat, he can drink, he can sing, he can dance, he can make love, he can fight, he can gossip with old women, play with little children. Who says he is God? That's Duryodhana's perception. Shakuni, the very embodiment of deception and cunning. Shakuni says, let us suppose he is God. So what? What can a God do? God can only please those devotees who please him. Let him be God. I don't like him. And when you don't like somebody, you must praise them. That's deceit. Radhe, his childhood lover, a milkmaid, a simple woman of the village. But with such unfaltering love and devotion, she has become so big that today you cannot talk of Krishna without Radhe. We don't say Krishna Radhe, we say Radhe Krishna. She has become a simple village woman. She has become as significant as Krishna or little more significant than him. She said, Krishna is with me. He's always with me. Wherever he is, whoever he is with, he's still with me. That's her perception. Vainteya, a youth who was the Garuda chief's eldest son, living on the mountains of Gomantak. A sprightly youth, because of a certain ailment, became totally crippled. This crippled youth, after he met Krishna, Krishna made him walk. So Vainteya said, he is God, he is God, he is God. Akrura, an uncle of Krishna, a wise and saintly being, expressed his perception of Krishna this way. Krishna, when I look at him, this strange young boy, I see the sun, the moon and the 7 stars whirling around him. When he speaks, he sounds like the voice of the Eternal. He's the hope. If there is hope in this world, he's the hope. Shikandin, a tortured human being, because of a certain situation within himself, right from his child. This is an absolutely tortured soul. So Shikandin said, Krishna never gave me any hope, but when he is there, the breeze of hope touches everybody. I can go on like this. Different people saw different facets of who he is. For some he is God, for some he is a crook, for some he is a lover, for some he is a fighter, so many things he is. If we want to taste an essence of what it means when we say Krishna, the consciousness that we refer to as Krishna, if we have to be touched by this, we need Leela. Here we are for the Leela. Leela means it is the path of the playful. This is not for the serious times, are you? Because when I say playfulness, we are not here just to play. We are here to explore the most profound and the most serious aspect of life, playfully, conducted playfully. Otherwise Krishna won't be there. The reason why the most profound dimensions of life have been missed by the vast population in the world is because they do not know how to be playful. If you want to explore this path playfully, if you want to be playful, you need a heart full of love, a joyful mind, and a vibrant body. Otherwise, there's no leader. If one has to explore the most profound dimensions of life in a playful way, they must be willing to play with their awareness, with their imagination, with their memory, with their life, with their death. They're willing to play with everything. Only then, Leela. Leela does not mean just dancing with somebody. You're willing to dance with death. You're willing to dance with life. You're willing to dance with your enemy. You're willing to dance with the one whom you love. You're willing to dance the last moment of your death. Only then there is Leela.
We appreciate your presence and active participation. Let's continue this journey together, exploring new horizons and sharing our light with the world.